Hi everybody. I think the snow has stopped for now. It went over 24 hours. It was crazy. But everything looks like it's trying to melt away already, so that's kind of cool. I was watching Burton's video this morning about his little nipper, and since I haven't been out of the house in a couple of days, I figured rather than show you record finds, I'm going to show you some other cool things that I have that I think, you know, a lot of you probably will enjoy. I do like industrial technology, you know, that turn of the century industrial technology, and a lot of, you know, later things all the way up to the atomic era. I think that was all so new to everybody at the time, and it's still to this day remarkable. So I want to show you a couple things. First, I want to show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but this is my Frida Kahlo. Can you see her? I don't know how well it shows. I hope so. This is a pretty amazing duster that has a huge portrait of Frida Kahlo on it. So, and she's a great artist. I loved her. First, I'm going to show my little nipper. Burton, this is my little nipper. Isn't he cute? And I also have this weird little chalkware butler guy who has very red cheeks, so he's either drunk or, I don't know. We looked at him and thought maybe he was either perverse or, I don't know, but he's a great piece. I have this funny little Shriner. These are all great little record player props. I love them. Tiny little plastic dashboard Shriner. And this it's two little creepy chalkware kids that sit on the edge nicely of a record player cabinet. Another thing that I had collected way before record players even were antique sewing machines, and I do have a lot of them. I only you know, liked non-electric sewing machines. So I do have an original Singer, one of those little tiny Singers that people often mistake for children's toys. These were actually fully functional sewing machines that people were able to travel easily with, because they're so small, as you can see. But people that like the workings of an old record player, I thought would really like to see these also, because it's all, you know, crank and crank gear and crank movement, just like a record player, and they actually sewed. I think it's incredible. That's a really tiny one. And this is a small, this one weighs more than a record player, believe me. This is very cool because this was an old industrial sewing machine. People that worked in the sweatshops and those, you know, those places where they used to lock them in would have used something like this. And it's a heavy-duty National Sewing Machine Company. Still, you know, obviously working. It weighs a ton. It would have been affixed to a work table, you know, probably tons, like lengths and lengths of work tables would have a bunch of these, and the ladies would sit at them. And it's a really cool looking thing. Let me see, it goes up, the thing goes up and down. Very heavy duty. It would have sewn some pretty heavy duty fabrics. Another thing I'm really fascinated by is cameras. Photography. I've always been heavily into photography, and I have a bunch of antique cameras, but most of actually mid-century cameras, let's say, because that's the era of the camera that I found to be very beautiful. And I'm going to show you two special ones. This one is the Mamiya Flex, and this would be the very camera that Diane Arbus used. And I think that these are just spectacularly beautiful. They would have been looked down into. And I think it's really, really, really beautiful. And I love Diane Arbus, so having a camera just like hers is very cool to me. This one, you know, this is a big monster vintage camera case that I had gotten, and this would have been the very kind of case that a photographer like Ouija would have used. And Ouija, another of my favorite photographers, he just, unbelievable. And in this case is a beautiful old Graflex, and this camera actually, this is actually the kind of camera that Ouija used, and it is just amazing. I mean, the size of these things, and the fact that he was a news photographer. You know, he took those famous pictures of car crashes and dead bodies. Remember? I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with his work. To think that they would have to run out in the middle of the night whenever they had a news story with these big monster cameras that weigh so much, and get the photos fast enough for the newspapers the next day. And Ouija actually had an entire setup for developing in the trunk of his car, so he could have the pictures to the papers before anyone else. And I think that is just, I think that's pretty clever. He used to sleep in a cot and just have the phone on, or all the time he was ready to run. He would sleep in his clothes so that if a news story came up, he could be there before anybody else. That's why Ouija got the most amazing pictures. And also in this old Graflex case, there are old film cases. You know, like the one of these would be a picture. I mean, you just slide it in. Where here? Somewhere over here. You just slide these in. Make the exposure, take this out, put the next one in, make an exposure, run to the car, develop it. Crazy. And today, you know, we have digital cameras where everything is like done in minutes, right? We can just upload it to the computer, send it. It's just incredible. I'd like to get this open for you, but I can't. I don't remember. I'd have to work on it, but I'll show you it when it's open. It's a really beautiful camera. Ouija would have had, and other paparazzi of the day would have had this big flash mechanism over here, and it was just a monster of a camera. So I just wanted to show you those, since I have no new records to show you. Show them all to you. In the background, I am listening to the Enoch Light Dimension 3 record. This one is really a great one. Me and Mark decided we really, really like this one, despite the cheesy album art. So, anyway, I hope you're all having a really great day. And if it's snowing by you, I hope it's finished finally. And I'll talk to you later. I love you all. Bye. Hi everybody. I was able to get the Graflex open. There's the lens cap. It is such a beautiful, huge camera. This would have been used in the 40s and 50s by news photographers. Really a glorious piece of equipment. Look at that. With the hooded back. Spectacular. So, just wanted to share that. Isn't that great? I'll talk to you later. Bye.